Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're continuing with Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 6, which is Dhyana Yoga, about meditation. And today we will cover verses 16 through 19. Verse number 16. Natyashnatastu yogo asti na chaikantam nashnataha na chati swapnashilasya jagrato naiva cha Arjuna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. There is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmaitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So we've been hearing a lot about meditation. And here, the few verses that we will cover, we will understand who is, or you can say, what are the symptoms of a perfect yogi. In this material world, people are very fond of the word yoga or yogi, but very few really know who is a perfect yogi. What are the symptoms of someone who can be considered to be a perfect yogi? So today's first verse that I took, very clearly it explains that a perfect yogi does not eat too much, nor too little, does not sleep too much, nor not sleep enough. Of course, both are necessary. Eating and sleeping both are necessary, because otherwise we won't be able to maintain the body and soul together. And that is called regulation. Regulation is necessary, which is also called discipline. You know, parents right from young age, they try to discipline their children so that, you know, they turn out to be good people when they grow up. And they also, you know, are able to understand what is right, what is wrong. So regulation is very, very important. Now, if we eat too much, it is really bad for the body, because it's putting a lot of pressure on the digestive system. If we eat little, then we are not giving enough nourishment to the body. Same goes with the sleep also. If we sleep too much, then we become lethargic, we become lazy, and we don't feel like doing anything. Why? Because the body has been given too much of something. So regulation is the key, regulating our senses. Now, how do we do that? That we can do based on knowledge. Just like I want to learn how to sing. When I was little, I wanted to be a singer, but I didn't get knowledge about it. What exactly singing entails? I did not approach a teacher who could teach me how to sing. So if I did not follow those steps, how can I become a singer? I cannot. Similarly, if we want to regulate our senses, first of all, we need to have bona fide knowledge. And besides that, we also need to approach a teacher who can teach us how to regulate our senses. And that becomes possible only when there is determination. We've seen in our lives, I'm sure all of you have experienced this in your lives, that if we want to do something, whether we want to excel in business or at our work or whatever it may be, we have to have determination. If there's no determination, then there will be no motivation to do anything at all, right? But if we are determined that, yes, for instance, my son gives me money and says, go ahead and start a business. And I'm very excited. I start the business. But I don't have the determination to succeed in that business. I'm just casual about it. I'm like, okay, If business comes to me, fine. If doesn't, no problem. No, there has to be determination no matter what. Let me get, first of all, the knowledge that is required for that business that I want to venture into. Okay, now that I have a knowledge, let me talk to some experienced business people who are in this line, and get some idea and then make a plan. You see, plan that how am I going to succeed? Similar thing applies even for a yogi. A yogi wants to um, become perfect. We like to become perfect in whatever we do. Okay, if a yogi wants to become perfect, then there has to be knowledge. Now, for instance, this verse that we took today from the Bhagavad Gita clearly states neither eat too much nor too little. But even if we regulate our senses and eat the proper amount necessary, see, each body is different, it is person by person. I may require maybe just a little bit of food, someone else may require more. But where do we draw the line, right? So for that, we need guidance. Now, eating food also, we will learn more about this in chapter number 9. And then much more in detail in chapter number 17 of the Bhagavad Gita about food intake. You see, we have maybe most of us have approached dietitians or those who can help us understand what's good for our body, etc. So the Bhagavad Gita teaches us that the food also falls into 4 categories: food in the mode of ignorance, in the mode of passion, in the mode of goodness, and in the mode of pure goodness. So these are the 4 categories. Now, how do we know which food? Well, the information is given in the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna tells Arjuna that one must eat food in the mode of goodness. Very, very important. And that mode of food in the mode of goodness can be converted into pure goodness by a simple process. You see, most people, they live just to eat. But that should not be the philosophy. We should eat so we can live. So food should not be our only goal in life. In the 3rd chapter, if you remember, we came across the verse where Krishna says, Yagna Shishtashina Shanto Muchyante Sarva Kilbishe Bhunjate Tve Agham Papam Ye Pachyanti Atma Karana. Papam means sin. You see? So if anyone prepares food just for personal enjoyment, that person is only eating sin. But when that food is offered to the Lord as a sacrifice, that food becomes in the mode of pure goodness. Now, one may say, well, I'm only eating vegetables. I am, what is sinful about it? Well, vegetables also have life. And when we are plucking those, even if we are not plucking those vegetables, we are just cooking them, we are killing living entities because there's life in the vegetables also. But it's the lowest kind of sin. Let me give you an example. Supposing I'm driving on a very narrow road. It's very, very narrow. And while I'm driving, I see that there is a small baby that's trying to cross the road. And at the same time, there is a cat that is trying to cross the road. And I can save only one. Who would I save? Naturally, the baby. Why? Because baby has a higher state of consciousness compared to the animal. So similarly, if we eat non-vegetarian food like meat, fish, eggs, chicken and all, they are more sinful than eating vegetables. Vegetables, because their state of consciousness is much lower. You see, if I try to hit a dog, the dog is trying to defend itself and run away because there is some consciousness. Whereas vegetables, we do anything, crush it or anything, vegetables don't even move because that is lower state of consciousness, but they are still conscious. So it is sinful even to kill the vegetables. But in the 9th chapter, Krishna says that if we offer with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, patram pushpam phalam toyam, then he says, I will accept it, because that's in the, then what will happen? That killing of those vegetables, that sin is removed just by offering it. So if we want to eat food in the mode of pure goodness, this is a process. Now, one may say, well, I don't mind. It's okay. I'm a vegetarian anyway, and it's okay. It's just a little bit of sin. But we don't forget, actually forget every action has a reaction. So if we perform a sinful activity, there has to be a sinful reaction to that. And that is called karma. And we all have to face that karma. So here in this particular verse that we took today, the very first verse, number 16, Krishna is making it very clear that if we want to be a perfect yogi, then we should not eat too much, nor too little, sleep too much, or sleep too little. There is a phrase many people use, and that is, you are what you eat. I'm sure you have heard. You are what you eat. So, whatever food we intake, that changes our consciousness. See? So, if we eat food in the mode of pure goodness, there's going to be purity, even in the mind, body, and senses. Right? So, then naturally we'll start working in the mode of pure goodness. And this process will lead us to become a perfect yogi. Now, Krishna also talks about not sleeping too much or too little. I've heard this very often when I invite people, to come and hear the science of self-realization on Sundays at 8 in the morning Eastern time. They say that's our sleepy time. We don't wake up so early on weekend. We sleep a lot. We wake up around noon because we work so hard from Monday through Friday that Saturday and Sunday is just for us to relax. But what happens when we sleep too much? We are not alert. You see, there is no regulation. But unless we regulate our senses, we will not be peaceful. Everyone wants peace in peace of mind. Everyone is looking for happiness, but they don't know how to get it. But Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, to get over moroseness, to get over lamentation, to get over anxiety, is a very simple process. We do meditation. And what kind of meditation? In the age that we are in, the best process for attaining peace is mantra meditation. When we chant, then those sound vibrations make us happy and peaceful. Now, in the very next verse, number 17, Krishna says, he who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing this yoga system. You see, this chapter 6 is entitled Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana means meditation. Yoga, we all know, yoga means linking oneself with the Supreme. That is a yoga system. So if we want to become perfect in Dhyana Yoga, then we need to regulate our eating, our sleeping, our recreation, and work. And when we do that, what will be the result? You see, we all are interested in knowing what's in it for me. What benefit am I going to get? Like, for instance, you have come today to hear the Bhagavad Gita this morning. Your goal is to find out what's in it for me. How am I going to benefit? So here is the, you can say, secret, where Krishna says if we regulate our senses, we'll get rid of all material pains. We all are experiencing pain one time or another, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe in future. We've already experienced pain, whether it is the mind giving us pain, if it's a body giving us pain, if it's other people giving us pain. We do experience pain. But here's the formula: how to mitigate all material pains. You see, we have heard this many times. I have repeated there are 7 kinds of miseries: birth, disease, old age, and death. Miseries caused by mind and body, miseries caused by other people, other living entities, and miseries caused by material nature. So when we have these 7 kinds of miseries ongoing, it's not that they have stopped, it's ongoing. So if we regulate our habits, then we will be able to not get affected by these miseries. You know, when especially when we see one strand of gray hair, we get so much in anxiety. Oh, I'm getting old. I have one gray hair. I remember one of my friends in school. She was still We were still in school, like probably in the 8th or ninth grade, and she started getting this gray hair, and she freaked out. She said, I am so young, I'm just a teenager and I have gray hair. That fear of getting old. But that is going to happen. So if we regulate our eating and sleeping, then we will quickly advance towards becoming a perfect yogi. Anything in extravagance, anything we do too much is too bad. It can block our advancement in spirituality. You see, every moment is precious. Now we started this class at 8 o'clock and now it's 8:16. Do you think we can go back to 8 o'clock Sunday morning? We cannot do that. We've already lost those 16 minutes. Fortunately, we did not lose it. We are using it in the right way by understanding how to control the senses. We are using it wisely. Unfortunately, people, they don't know what to do with the time. They just, like, instead of, simple living, high thinking, they are, living in a high way, high standard of living, and simply or no thinking at all, not understanding what is the purpose of this human form of life. And they are not even afraid of losing time. They are not afraid of coming back into this material world where Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam, which means it is full of miseries and it is temporary. Instead, people are busy working hard, doing 2 jobs, 3 jobs. I knew one person who did 4 jobs. Slogging, that's called slogging. For what? For sense enjoyment. So that once I work so much, this much I will earn, and this is how I'm going to enjoy. And they don't try to understand how to really regulate their lives. So many of us are so attached to social media. Do you know? I'm sure we all know people, as soon as they wake up, the first thing that comes in their hand is their mobile, their phone, because they want to see how many likes did I get, who's following me, how many followers do I have, etc., etc. That is being attached to social media. See? But there is a solution. Excuse me. If we regulate our lives, excuse me, if we regulate our lives, then we will be able to, as you can say, come on the right track. Have you noticed? I have done this before. Driving, going, there is a destination in mind. Okay, I'm in point A and I want to reach point B at a certain time. And I, just start driving. I have a vague idea, where I need to go. But if I use GPS, it'll take me to the right destination at the right time. But sometimes the mind says, well, let me try a shortcut. I know a shortcut, and we may make a mistake and take the wrong exit or take the wrong lane. But the super soul, which is within our heart, the Supreme Lord, Excuse me. The Supreme Lord, who's situated in our hearts as the Super Soul, is there to guide us. So even if we take a wrong exit or take a wrong lane, He allows us to make a U-turn and get back on track. And that is what Bhagavad Gita is teaching us, how to follow the GPS. Bhagavad Gita is the GPS for this human form of life. Unfortunately, of course, when we will go to chapter 14, we'll learn a lot about the different modes of material nature. So those who operate in the mode of goodness, they learn from their mistakes. Oh, I took the wrong exit or a wrong turn or a wrong lane. Let me make a U-turn. Those who operate in the mode of passion, they start blaming others. And those who are in the mode of ignorance, they go into depression. Oh my Lord, now what to do? I've taken the wrong, it's okay. Taking the wrong exit, no problem. Make a U-turn. We will learn, of course, more about these modes in chapter number 14. Now, the verse number 18. Krishna says, when the yogi, by practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desires, he is said to be well established in yoga. See, these are the symptoms. This is how we know, am I a perfect yogi or am I not? Right? If I have started practicing this yoga system, am I disciplined? Are my senses regulated? What about my mental activities? How's my mind working? Is my mind under control? Or is my mind jumping like a monkey all over the place from one tree to another, from one desire to another? Need to contemplate on this and figure out. If you're not able to figure out, we take guidance from someone who already has figured it out, and find what is the state of my mental activities. And am I situated? Very, very important. Am I situated in transcendence? Now, how do I know if I am situated in transcendence? Let me give you an example. Supposing I'm running high fever, it's really high and I'm suffering a lot. Now, how do I know I have high fever? I'll take the thermometer and put it in my mouth and it's going to tell me what's my temperature. And that's how I will figure out how high is my fever. Similarly, if we want to understand how high is my material fever, which means, am I on the platform of transcendence or not? Am I, have I been able to control my mind? That thermometer to measure it is in the hands of the spiritual teacher. Just like in school, the teacher can gauge and tell, okay, this boy or this student is, really working hard, studying hard, and getting good grades. This student is very weak, and the teacher can, figure it out. Similarly, the spiritual teacher can help us to understand what if we are on the level of transcendence. If we are, what is the level? How high is it? Have I become a perfect yogi? Do I have those symptoms or not? Am I well established in yoga? And as I have explained earlier, the yoga has, it's a huge ladder, and each rung is a particular step to go to the top rung of the ladder, yoga ladder. The very first step is karma yoga. Next is Jnana Yoga. Karma Yoga means our activities. Jnana Yoga is knowledge. Then comes Dhyana Yoga, which we are learning now, meditation. Then comes Ashtanga Yoga, which is another form of yoga. But the topmost rung of yoga ladder is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti means devotion. A true yogi is one who is devoted to the Supreme. That bhakti yogi is called to be well established in yoga. Now we talked about mental activities. How to discipline the mind, how to discipline the mental activities, and what exactly does it mean, right? It's very easy to say, oh, mental activities, but what exactly does it mean? It means that our mind is very smart. It's very clever. The mind can easily fool us or trick us. The mind may say, oh, this is the best way. This is the correct way, but it may not be so. If the mind is not working under the control of intelligence, the mind can take us haywire. You see, I've given this example many times before. Just imagine there is a chariot and there are 5 horses that are being pulled, that are pulling the chariot. Those 5 horses are like our 5 senses. And the reins of those horses, those reins, let us consider that to be the mind. Mind is like those reins. The driver of the chariot is the intelligence. The chariot is his body, and the passenger in the chariot is the spirit soul, which we really are. Our real identity is the spirit soul, not this body. So just imagine we are sitting in the chariot. The intelligence is the driver who has the reins in hand. If the intelligence is not going to control the mind, the senses, the horses are going to go haywire. Now, how is the intelligence going to control the mind? With the help of knowledge. If the intelligence is sharpened with the help of knowledge, then the intelligence will control the mind, mind will control the senses, and the passenger is going to be happy and secure in the chariot. Which means we need to engage all the senses properly. The mind needs to be fixed properly, fixed on something superior. Right now, the mind is used to inferior, everything material, everything connected to the body. How can I enjoy my body? How can I dress nicely, eat nicely, hear nicely, see nicely? Everything is about the body. And we've forgotten the spirit soul that we really are. You see, when we change the body, at the time of death, the body is gone, it's dead. But the spirit soul lives. It is eternal. It just goes on to another body. So it's the spirit soul that is more important than the body. I'm not trying to say that don't take care of the body. We do. We need to take care of the body, but not get so attached to the body that we forget about the spirit soul. So the mind needs to be fixed on something superior and give up inferior. How? By constant practice. And the best way to control the senses and the mind and to sharpen the intelligence is by mantra meditation. Now, the last verse for today, number 19. Krishna is telling Arjuna, as a lamp, you see, as a lamp in a windless place, there is no wind blowing. As a lamp in a windless place does not waver, so the transcendentalist or a perfect yogi whose mind is controlled remains always steady in his meditation on what? On the transcendent self. That's a perfect yogi. That it doesn't matter what is happening in life, the mind is under control, is very steady, does not waver. You see, that means does not get affected by dualities. Oh, success, failure, heat, cold, happiness, distress. It doesn't matter. That yogi, perfect yogi, is completely steady in mind. Now, Krishna is talking about a transcendentalist. What are the symptoms of a transcendentalist? First symptom is mind is controlled. always steady in meditation. And for that, a training is required. If I want to learn something, I need to get trained. First of all, get knowledge, approach a teacher who's experienced and certified, learn, get trained, and then get the experience. You see? So, similarly, training the mind also requires a bona fide teacher. First, hearing, getting this knowledge, hearing about it, and then putting it into practice. Now, I've talked so many times today about mantra meditation. The meditation that, Bhagavad Gita is talking about is chanting the holy names of the Lord, because the potency, the power is in the sound vibrations. And those sound vibrations, when they enter our ears, they go straight to the heart and purify it. And it's the easiest way. It's free of charge. There is no what you call fee for it. Just like all of you who've come to hear Bhagavad Gita, you don't get charged for it. It's free, because this knowledge is about how to understand oneself. It's a science of self-realization. You see? And this is how we can regulate our senses and become a perfect yogi. Now, today, we will do a little bit of practice of mantra meditation. So that I know some of you have joined for the first time. So, in the chat, I'm going to put, of course, some links, but I'm also going to put the mantra that we are going to chant. What is mantra? Man means mind, and tra means to free the mind. Free the mind of what? Of anxieties. That is called mantra. So when we will chant that mantra, we will be able to experience it. So here are the links, and you can see that towards the end is the mantra that we are going to chant. And I can thank you, Isabel. You love mantras. I love mantras too. And I have been practicing it for 40 years, 40 years. And I'm telling you, it's given me so much peace of mind, so much happiness just by chanting this mantra. So before I end, we will chant this mantra, which I have posted in the chat, for about 10 times. So there are 108 beads in this. And on each bead, we chant this whole mantra. And then we go on to the next bead and chant the same mantra all over again. So when we chant 108 times, it takes, I would say, about eight minutes, about 8 to 10 minutes. And if we start chanting this every day, we will see the difference ourselves. We've heard that saying, the proof of the pudding is in its eating, right? We will realize how yummy the pudding is only when we taste it. So similarly, when we will chant, then we will see the effect of this chanting. So I'll just chant 10 times today. And it's my very humble request that please chant with me. Only 10 times. It won't take very long. Excuse me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. So you see, it's very, very simple. So this is my humble request to all of you is that please do this mantra meditation on a daily basis. So we're going to end today at verse number 19, and we will continue next Sunday with verse number 20 of the same chapter, which is about Dhyana Yoga. So I'm going to end now. If anyone has any questions or comments, you're welcome to